All right. I had to move. See, you saw them. I think they recognizing us all over the place, and they are going to do what they can do to. I was over there. Nobody in that space, but supposedly security is watching on camera, and they didn't like what they see because you know why? They recognize this. They recognize this, okay? And you're going to see, you have to get used to the fact that there's probably not going to be anywhere where we can go and stand to do this word, do this gospel anymore. You're going to be constantly harassed. Now, I know the security, woman who's doing her job, in the patrol car, and she's a Jake, and I had a little conversation with her off camera, she ain't got nothing against us like that, but of course, and I wasn't giving her a hard time because our people are ready, and that's something you gotta look at, Jake. If you're a sentry in this man's kingdom, you're going to be ordered to do things that's going to be contrary or contradiction to the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shai. So you got to really think about that, okay? And this is why we always tell you Jakes that are in the United States military, like, why are you in there, man? Why are you in there? You are going to be ordered to fight against the Mashiach when he returns. You're going to be ordered to round your people that look like you, which is what you're seeing going on right now with a lot of these ICE agents and a lot of these, National Guard service members. Okay, you're putting that stick on people that look like you for dividends. Okay, you have to think about that. All right, you have to think about that. You think it's a convenient? You think it's you don't think the fact that you can get into these type of job so much easier compared to like getting to corporate America? Okay, these would just bring you in as a cop or these other things like that, security or whatever the case is like that, then get you in corporate America. That's because he knows at some point in time he's going to order you to go and impress your own people. But anyways, I was talking about the fact that we were special people before I had to go and change location. Let's continue on here in Matthew 5. It says, rejoice and exceedingly be glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So the prophets that was before us was persecuted, okay? And if you were a prophet before, you're a prophet here today, okay? So that means you've been persecuted before. It reads, ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt of lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. So we can't be hid, man. We can't be hid. Even though we're in the low positions and as far as the society goes like that, the fact is that we are still being exposed all across this earth. Now Esau is using that opportunity to expose us as anything but righteous. You see what's going on with certain celebrities right now, okay? But we're going to see how he's going to expose us or enlighten the world or darken the world, the minds of the people in this world about the prophets, which they like to, describe us as black Hebrew Israelite, all right? Us coming up against the system and making everybody's life miserable because we're telling you that there's no morale here. We're telling you that the powers that be have very sinister plans for you, and this is how it's going to take place, and this is what you need to do in order to have that protection from the Lord. Yahweh Shemel Shai says, neither do man light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it's given light unto all that are in the house. We ain't gonna get this truth and then just like be quiet about it. Well, what's the point in having it? What's the point in having it? When you want to get up and actually hear and voice what you really feel about this society and what you really feel about Esau, okay? So brothers spend years studying to be able to come out in the street. You continuously sharpen that knowledge, okay, through listening to brothers and, doing studying yourself, staying vigilant as our watchman, Okay, so that you could see the moves of this man and what he's doing. You want to keep that light, that spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai in you constantly says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Okay, so we glorify Yahweh Shemi Shai. Okay, the people that, the men and women and children that are right now awakening to this, okay, are awakening because man put the work in. They weren't lazy. Okay, they're not lazy. They're putting the work in. They're doing the work. They're being obedient servant. If that's not the case like that, what you will have is an earth that would be obliterated by Yahweh Shemi Shai. Keep in mind, in the first destruction, what did he do? He only saved 8. Okay, henceforth you see the world repopulated again from that 8. Okay, here right now, okay, you have in Great Babylon, America itself, there's going to be 1/3 that's going to be saved. Okay, 1/3 of Yasharala. Everybody else is they're done. So they knew. Okay, I bet you if I was a doggone a white man standing up in that parking lot, they would not have chased me out of that parking lot. But the fact is that you're a so-called black man standing up, and I think they've seen this before. They've seen us stand up on the streets and YouTube and all that stuff like that. They definitely gonna take that opportunity. It's empty. I made a Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai destroy that building, destroy these wicked ass doggone demons, man. Okay? Let's go into the book of Proverbs 29, and start on verse 24. And I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt at all. I mean, I've been in a lot of situations, okay, and I got a lot of experience of dealing with adversity. And it's just been pretty much my life, 80% has been just adversity, constantly. Doesn't matter if I'm doing well or if I'm doing bad. It's just constant adversity. There's never really a peace of mind. I remember telling the brother, man, like, I always wish I could have like a week where I don't have to really be stressed out. And it's just one shit to the next. Okay? In increments, of course, the way the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai does it, but it keeps you sharp, and it keeps you sharp. And it gives you more and more and more experience. The Lord has always been prepping us through our entire lives for these persecution and things that's going to come. Okay? Because you are going to need men with that mindset, that ability, that experience, okay, that the Lord has put them through those adversity to be able to lead others who are going to may fall apart. Okay? They get cold feet, or they become weak-hearted. All right? They want to give up. This is Proverbs 29. It's out with 24, and it reads, "Whoso is partnered with a thief hated his own soul, and inherit cursing and berated not. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso put his trust in the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai should be safe." If you're a Jake, okay, that's going along with Esau and all of the things that he's doing against the children of Israel, you know what? You hate yourself, man. You hate your own soul. You hate your own people. It says, "Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man judgment coming from the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai." So why you having fear of just a man that can't even stand up in the sun for like 20 minutes without burning up? Okay? An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. So we're an abomination to the wicked. And this is why you see they chasing brothers now off corners and stuff like that. It's been a while since I've been asked to move, but that was, wow. That's something else. But hey, it is what it is, It is what it is. And it's part of this war, Let's go into Romans 1. And start in verse 17. Romans 1 and start in verse 17. Romans 1. Book of Romans 1 and starting with verse 17. But this is faith-based. Okay? This is faith-based. Each and every brother that you see out here, this is faith-based. The Mashiach called us out of darkness through this work. We didn't just pick up and do it. Okay? You don't get a reward or a paycheck. We're not getting, when I turn that camera off, I don't get a check. Okay? I don't get a check that's coming to me for me to go oh, gee, let me go buy a beer or go buy some wine or whatever the case is like that. No, okay? It's faith-based because we know the reward is going to come, okay, in the end. Part of the reward is actually going to be protection from the persecution that's going to be coming, or the protection during this great tribulation, you know, the ability to eat, the, you know, not being put to doggone death, okay? This is Romans 1, starting verse 17, and it reads, for therein is the righteousness of power revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. We are just, and we're living by faith. For the rod of power is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of power is manifest in them, for power has showed it unto them. Okay? So we live by faith because we can see through the scriptures and the prophecies that's been written, everything is coming true. I had another, I won't call it a nightmare, but basically I was running, you know, running with my my wife, with just like hell breaking loose all around us. Hell breaking loose once again. And once again I had another dream about this. I escaped it, but nonetheless, hell was breaking loose, and I have not had these dreams before. And yes, I'm having this. I had another one again this morning. Okay. Continuing, it says, for the rod of power is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of power is manifest in them, for power has showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and power had, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew power, they glorified him not as power, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations. Their foolish heart was darkened. Okay, and we've seen that happening with a whole lot of these jakes that actually know the Hebrew Israelite, that actually even know the name, the true Paleo Hebrew name, but rather than using it as to glorify Yahweh Shemashah, they're using it to exalt themselves. And we saw the end results of that. Okay, you see the end result. This is not about us, man. This is about Yahweh, glorifying the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. This is about glorifying the Son, and this is about glorifying the power or the Father. Okay, it says, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image unlike the corruptible man, and to birds and foot beasts and creeping things. Wherefore power also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of power into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Okay? So anytime you turn around, you put the oppressor or the suppressor above Yahweh Shem Shai, okay, you're going against the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, especially the fact that you know who he is. It describes what he looks like. It describes who he has chosen to be his people. Okay, it describes how he deals with man. He puts the base of man in rulership. So that tells you right off the bat. If you know, if everybody in this earth can go and raise their hand up and say that the so-called white man is the ruler on this earth, he holds all the power, then that would make him what? The base of man. Okay, so that describes him. And if the scripture talks about the meek, okay, and the righteous will be lowly and be persecuted and be lied upon, you know, then when you look at the people that are being persecuted and lied upon, okay, and made low, who are those people? That's us. So that would be, so the scripture is talking about us, okay? And our people, even knowing that, would still turn around and give all the glory to Esau. Rather than Yahweh Shem Shai, it says, for this power gave them up unto vile affection, so even their women did change the natural use into that which goes against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burning their lust one towards another, man with man, working in which is unseemly, receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat. Okay? So we now come to the conclusion of the month that's celebrated for sodomy. Okay, and I think next weekend we're going to go into what is going to be the 4th of July weekend. Okay, 4th of July weekend. Okay, July. Okay, so yeah, people driving about, they're looking at you like what's up? Okay, what's up is what's up. Okay, what's up is what's up. And that's okay. All right, that's okay. You have the men that are very feminine. Now I spoken to that security off camera, and very humble, very humble. Her mother was Polynesian, and her dad is so-called African American. Okay, Jake. She's very humble. We had a little conversation. You know, she's doing her job. I understand that, and I'm not giving her a hard time. You know, and I let her know who she is, and you know, went into the scriptures a little bit. I wish I could get it on camera, but I don't want to, jeopardize her job. And then, you know, just move on. Just move on. But let me tell you something. So you can't stop this. You can't stop this. We're not afraid of you. I speak personally for myself. For the first time in my life, I'm living. Doesn't matter what hell I'm catching, or you know, you have a great week and then a bad day, a great day and then a bad month, or whatever cases like that. And that's just the way it is, you know. And if you're not in that situation, you're in a happy-go-lucky situation all the doggone time, then you should be very concerned. When it's going too doggone good. I know, I do. I feel, well, you know, because the last thing you want is to be that guy that is getting your compensation on this side. Okay? Nah, man, you want your compensation. Okay, the real compensation is when the Mashiach returns, and you part of that. You part of 144,000. First of all, you got to be on the chariot to go through the ceremony. So if you're on the chariot, that means you was part of that elect. And that in itself is great, even if you don't make it as one of the 144,000. But the ultimate desire of each and every one of us is to be part of the 144,000, so that we can continue on forever and ever and ever doing the work. Okay, of the Lord, how about Shemi Al Shai? Have responsibility. Okay, you don't want to be just some dude sitting in just there. All right, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, you're living forever, but then you was one of those people that 2/3 wouldn't believe. You know, you took the easy way out on this side, or the Lord didn't put you on that list. Okay, He didn't put you on that list, and you got to live with that forever. Okay, this is Psalm 55. This is the book of Psalm 55. Psalm verse 21. I'm not a person who really like to go hang out in the corner, you know, but it is what it is. Psalm 55, Psalm verse 21 reads, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were soft as an oil, yet they were drawn sword." As a man talk peace and he talk all kinds of stuff, but yesterday he's doggone got a sword to kill you. We see how he does this with these other nations, these other kings. Okay? So how much more so you think he's going to do that with someone like us? Okay? Come on, Jake. You've been marching since the 60s. What do you got out of it? Not a damn thing. Nothing. Nothing. Okay? So you can't trust this man ever. His smooth words is just what it is. Smooth words. Garbage. That's what I hear. It said, "Cast thy burden upon the Lord, Yahweh Shemi Shai, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved." Okay? So in our mindset like that, we hear it. We're physically in this world. We can't do nothing about that. We're not dead yet. I'm not in the spirit world. Your brothers are not in the spirit world. You know, so we have work to do. This is part of that work. You're gonna get these stares. You can get these people looking at you, go, "What the hell is this doggone nigga doing? You know, you're gonna get chased from spots. Okay. People might smirk at you, snap photos of you like that. Whatever the hell they want to doggone do. All right. A lot of them they desire to lay hands on us. You know, on behalf of Esau. And I'm talking about people, Hebrew Israelites. All right. But the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, of course, we have the faith in Him, and we have the faith that He's going to protect us. And you know, angels that are protecting us right now, even though we can't see them. Okay, He can never let us suffer. Now we already know that some of us are going to be beheaded or, you know, sent into the spirit world. You know, which is going to glorify the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, and that could be any of us. So don't sit down there and think because you might be considered, you know, not as knowledgeable as an elder brother or the apostles that it couldn't be you. Okay, you might think to yourself, well, it'd probably be better if the apostles or the elder brothers who are more knowledgeable get put into the courthouse, and you know they have to get their hair chopped off it because they're more advanced than me and they're more knowledgeable. No, the Lord might take your ass and use it. So each and every brother in this ministry has to be prepared for the fact that the Lord might have chosen you to go be that sacrifice. All right, you. That's why Yahushua said, don't worry about when you go in the courthouse. He's going to speak through to you. Okay, you might not have that knowledge. Your knowledge might be this small compared to like another brother who's like this. But the Lord is going to speak to you, so don't worry about what you're going to say to Esau. Okay? You might be put in a hot seat. And then you might be the one that's put on there to get your hair chopped off in the guillotine or whatever they're going to use, or the firing squad. Okay? Not necessarily an elder brother or an apostle. So don't any brother sit down and think that the Lord might not choose you, or you might not be the one that's going to go there. He's going to use this popular brother here. No. Okay? I'll be the mindset and shoot. If that's you, you get to rise up. You get to rise up first, and then cheer on the rest of the brothers that are still here on the earth. Okay? You getting your crown, right? You die for a cause, the ultimate cause. Okay? And glorifying Yahweh Shem Shai. It says, but thou, O power, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half the days. But I will trust in thee. So yeah, you're gonna have those who are gonna doubt. You know, they get shaken. You know, they get shaken and stirred. But then the real men of the Lord are not gonna be shaken and stirred. We look at it as just another adversity. It comes with the job. It's part of the hazard. Okay. What they say? Hazardous duty. Okay. When we put these robes on, have the Bible in our hand, burning incense to the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. You turn that camera on like that. Okay. You're in a hostile. You suddenly, and you stand up outside. The entire outside becomes hostile to you. It becomes hostile to you. Okay. These are hazardous. These are anti-hazardous clothes right here. Okay. This garment. Okay. You know, like when you're in a hazardous environment, you wear protection, right? This is our protection. This Bible and this. These are our protection, and we give glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay. Because this is all hazardous, man. They're making a big deal. This is windy, it's dusty, it's muggy. You're making a big deal out of empty, doggone space. Just because they don't like what they see. And that's okay. That's okay. And you know who made that call? Whoever made that call. You know, when adversity comes and the Lord seely like and start bringing those judgments, He's going to be the same people, they'll see you. And they will expect you to sacrifice your life to save them. They would expect you to give the food out of your bag or give food to their doggone snotty-nosed kids. Okay? They're going to expect you to save their sorry air-conditioned, gentrified ass. You know, they use their air-conditioned and soft jobs and stuff like that. Don't even exercise, don't take care of themselves. Nothing. They can expect you, who's faced adversity all your damn life, to turn around and go, well, to show compassion on them. But yes, so you can't even do that. You can't do this. Stand over here. Okay? Let's go into Ezekiel 33. Psalm 7. It says, so thou, O son of man, have set thee a watchman upon the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth. And warn them. For me, that's our job, is to warn. Warn Israel. yeah, you might be doing your job, or yeah, you might be in this place like that, but understand this, even though you work as a collective in this place to try to keep this place afloat, at some point in time, when the elect has been sealed, the Lord is going to break all hell loose. And none of that is going to matter. It says, when I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, the wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require thine hand. So we have to do our job. Okay? If we're derelict of our duties, like that, the Lord is going to hold us accountable. It says, nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he does not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou wilt deliver thy soul. So they can laugh, they can chase us, they can do whatever they want. These recordings, okay, the angels are recording us. Yahweh Shemashai knows your mind, he knows what you think, he knows what you can do, he direct your ways. Okay? That ain't happen just out of the blue. That's the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, he controls everything. He sent that. Okay? He sent that. We do our job and we want. We can't be derelict of our duties. Okay? So if they laugh and they don't listen, well, you know, what else can we do? We're going to Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 14. And from verse 14 it reads, Then the Lord Yahweh Shemashai said unto me, the prophets prophesying lies in my name, I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught and the deceit of their heart. Okay, so yeah, if you want to prophesy that there's not going to be any Jacob's trouble, you want to prophesy all people can come into the kingdom. Esau is not the so-called white man. We are not the true biblical Hebrew Israelite. Jesus died for everybody, according to John 3:16. Okay, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai didn't send you. Now you have the elder brother Menachem Zach who's going through and combing through and finding a lot of these short videos, these short clips, and he's bringing out these lessons. The Lord put the Spirit on him to do that. Okay, and he's set up by the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. He specializes in those things, and he does it better than anybody, any other brother out there. He does that. Every brother have their particular special way in how they bring out this gospel, this ministry. But we probably, many of us, I can just speak for myself, probably wouldn't know that there's people out there making TikTok video against us if this brother wasn't doing it, because I don't go on TikTok. I don't really go on Instagram. I don't go on those. I go on YouTube and I don't see those. Okay, but he gets those things, so he brings it out like that, because especially for those who are just coming into truth, who are just awakening, people like those can really seem convincing or seem to have some sense of truth. And there's always a bit of truth in everything, okay, but a whole lot of lies. So this is why you have to have a man of the Lord has to really go through, okay, and make sure that the sheep is never misled, that the wolves don't get in amongst the sheep. You understand? Or identify that wolf, okay, pretending to be a sheep. All right? It said, therefore, thus said the Lord concerning, Lord Yahweh Shemashai, concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I have sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in the land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. So we're going to see, yes, the black Hebrew Israelites, okay, the black Hebrew Israelites, okay, those in those camps that are part of this deceptive practice, they're going to be out there getting their due from the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, because they work for the doggone devil, okay, and much of the people of the light, they're going to be happy, because we know a lot of time when they're talking about, the bullhorns and the harassment and all that stuff, they're talking about IUIC and, those likes groups out there that likes to be seen. They're out there marching and trying to really create a scene to get likes and views and all that stuff for that. We're not into that. All right. This is Matthew 24:12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Why should the love of many going to wax cold? Constant wickedness, man. Constant things bothering you. People either personal to you bothering you, people out there externally bothering you. You got something like that. And I've watched many live camps where brothers have to move. Things like that. Real minor things like that. If you allow it to, it will get to you. But these people don't understand. Here it is Sunday, and everybody's out shopping and whining and dining and going about their life as usual, because the sun is shining, the air's cool, you get a little roof over your head and all that stuff like that. I have no clue that the damn doggone devil is planning on plotting against them. All right. Okay, this is Matthew 10, verse 34, and some might be experiencing this right now. Okay, this is Matthew 10, verse 34. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace with a sword, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against a mother, and a daughter-in-law against a mother-in-law, and a man's foe should be there of his own household." We've seen this going on right now. I shared a video the other day where BBL, Northern Kingdom tribe, at least that's what she looks like, who have 7 kids, went on a date with a guy. Now she's supposed to be going towards a divorce, or she's in a divorce process, so she's separated. So technically she's still married. Okay, guess what? A jealous husband, he couldn't get over that. He couldn't get over his BBL prize possession, being with another man. He goes out and he puts her into the spirit world, and also put her date into the spirit world. Okay, and her date probably was with her, even though she had 7 children. But he's looking at that BBL and looking at her face, which you can see she had a lot of cosmetics stuff done, and he just couldn't get over that. And despite what common sense should tell you, it's not mess with a woman like that, he went about it. Okay, we in dangerous times, man. And then guess what happened to the husband who went and turned around and killed her? He had 4 children. Okay, an off-duty cop or sentry was right around when that commotion was going on. He pulled out his sword and he actually put the husband into the spirit world. So the Lord, just like that, put 3 wicked people into the spirit world. Okay, the man that was doing that adulterous thing there, dating a woman that was still married. Okay, which is adultery. Okay, the jealous man. Okay, the adulterous woman, and he used a sentry, one of Esau's sentry. Okay, to take out the final wicked person, which is the husband. I mean, that's how the Lord works. Okay, let's close over with 2nd Ezra, because as we always say, don't count on your neighbors, okay, to be people that's going to be holding your back. Nobody can have your back except the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. This is 2nd Ezra 15, verse 16, and it reads, "For there should be seditions amongst men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princesses, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Okay, so we're seeing that happening right now, division, but we're going to see these people go ape crap when they realize that Trump really isn't here for them. He's here for the elites and doing the biddings of the elites. Okay, and the implications of that is going to be so grave. America, as we know it, is going to be completely and utterly destroyed. It's going to happen. It ain't a matter of if, it's when. And we know that it's going to happen. It has to happen, because in order for them to get their so-called New World Order off the ground, which that's not going to be the New World Order. The New World Order is going to be when the Mashiach returns. That's the New World Order. Order is things is in order. Esau has never been in order. So there can never be a New World Order. There can be a New World Disorder, but never a New World Order. It says, "A man shall desire to go in the city and shall not be able to," because they can be boarding up, and you're going to have city against city, and everybody, it's going to be hell. Okay, hell. You can sit down and you can come up with all kinds of clips and all kinds of stuff to describe this. Unless you're going through it, you have no clue what it's like to experience like that. If I punch this doggone brick wall behind me like that, I can say, "Ow." You can say, "Ooh." But you don't know what I'm feeling. Only I know I'm feeling. I'm the one who have to go bind in my hand afterwards. So we're gonna catch that physically, each and every one of us. But there's gonna be those who's gonna be brought through it. Okay. Scripture always talks about roughly paraphrasing, 2/3 will be cut off and die. Okay, they can be left fend for themselves, while 1/3 is brought through the fire. Brought through the fire. So if you're going through the fire, but you don't get, you feel the heat, but you don't get burned. So we're gonna feel the heat, but it's gonna be stress, and you may even have a second of doubt. Wow, what was I thinking? Why didn't I go and prep? Okay, why didn't I go find a hole or a cave, or why didn't I go find some type of place in Montana in the woods or whatever to go hide or whatever the case from all this hell I'm catching, you know, like I said, the just live by faith. And you might by faith be in that situation where like, damn, I could have been prepping all those years. I could have been prepping instead of standing up on the damn street corner. And you can have those moments, okay? And this is why you also have to believe in what the Yahweh Shemashai has said he's going to do, which is get you through that fire. It says, and for because of their pride, the city should be troubled, the house should be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but they shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So keep in mind that your neighbor, okay, if you're watching this for entertainment, keep in mind your neighbor is watching your every move. You probably most likely are looking at what your neighbor does, okay? And the fact is that at some point in time, there may be a temptation for you to go attack your neighbor. If not, your neighbor's going to attack you definitely to take your stuff, okay? So don't think that because, oh, we say good morning to each other and all that stuff like that, that you're not going to be subject to what has to happen, which is what? You're struggling to survive. And that's what the Lord is going to put on these people that are out here that are not part of His. In the meantime, these preppers are prepping for the righteous, okay, or for the 1/3 that the Lord has chosen to make it through the fire to be able to have the ability to eat. Okay, along with the fact that the angels are going to be protecting the elect, okay, and it's going to get to a point where Esau is going to try to come after the elect, you know, like a great flood, and the Lord is going to raise up a standard. That standard could be a whole lot of things. We always think of the standard as being as the Lord given, along with the angels. The Lord gives some brothers the ability and the power to go there and smash. You know, like how they always tell Hulk, smash, Hulk, smash. Yeah, many of us would like to go and do that. Okay, even in this flesh. You know, all right? So Lord willing, the elect was the Father, turn to the east, give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.